in that coaching kind of community I saw, it just felt very, a lot of the conversations were centered around how do I get more clients, not around how do I help people better. Okay. So I was kind of expecting that that's what this coach training was going to be too. It was going to be all about getting people to say yes and sign a contract. It was not. In fact, we almost never did that. I say almost because there was, I think, one session when one of the students asked about it, and so we focused on it for about 20 minutes. But the majority of it was really about learning how to read body language to make sure that your client felt safe, that you understood if your client felt safe. It was about, excuse me, it was about asking questions that keep your client feeling safe and help them actually uncover what's inside. And I was blown away by this. And I was not just about the content, but also about how deep it went, how well tested it was, all of these things. So I was really hooked, and I decided to keep going, and I ended up getting certified as a super learning coach is what they call it. And the reason it's super learning is because that company focuses on super learning. I know I got weird lighting here. We're going to ignore that. That company focuses on super learning, and super learning is learning skills like making memory markers and memory palaces and speed reading and things to that effect. And coaching those that really want to use those skills more effectively. It's not necessarily teaching those skills, it's more for people who have already dabbled in those skills to use them more effectively. But I found so much value in the more interpersonal side of all of this, in the values, in the ability to make actual change in your life, and how impactful that would be for most people. So I decided that that was something I really it's great. I want to do it. And once I got certified, my mentor actually started sending some clients my way, and I started helping people, and I was like, this is wonderful. I love this. But then when it came time to start finding my own clients, and now we're circling back to my goals. I know I kind of took a tangent there. When it came time to actually find my own clients, I realized this is the part I don't want to do. I don't want to do marketing. I don't want to go out and try to sell myself. I don't want to go out and have cold conversations with people. And no matter how it was presented to me, it always felt a little bit manipulative. Okay, and that was just a feeling for me, and that has to do with my own baggage. But it always, the idea was just start some conversations and see if it goes there. And I'm, well, you're saying see if it goes there, but obviously if I am starting this conversation with the purpose of potentially wanting this person to be a client, then I'm probably going to be trying to get it to go there. And then they kind of reminded me, bad coach. You shouldn't be leading anybody in any direction. Like, okay. So I started trying it their way. And I hate it. I really do. So the idea of sourcing clients and creating a client pipeline and all that, it's not something I'm really interested in. So I had put it away. Not necessarily deciding I wasn't going to be a coach, but that I would maybe only be a coach if it happened organically, or if my mentor or other people in the community sent me clients, I would absolutely help them. But that I didn't want to do, I didn't want to do the other side of it, all the marketing and bringing people in. So it wasn't going to be my primary source of income. So I wanted to come up with something else, and I actually don't even remember how I came up with this idea now, but I was in my local community. Now, I'm learning Italian because I live here and I want to continue living here and I want to integrate with the community. But before I met my now boyfriend, I lived here for 4 years with my ex and barely met anyone, barely did anything. And every time I wanted to try and find something to do, I had a really hard time with that. So I decided to solve that problem. And that became something enormous for me. It's something that I'm extremely passionate about, something that makes sense, ticks all the boxes. It plays with my strengths, but it also challenges me in ways that I find exciting. And so I found something really great in that. It is in the super secret stage, so it's not something I'm going to tell you a whole lot about because it's not out there living and breathing yet. But I'm really happy to be working on it. In my pursuit of all of this, I realized, okay, I can get a job, but I cannot get any job. So I need to be picky. I need to make sure that I'm really comfortable with what the mission of the company that I work for is. And I started doing some LinkedIn networking, which felt kind of like the same kind of cold outreach that I didn't want to do with clients, so I was getting really annoyed by that. But I did end up connecting with two really great organizations, and both of them wanted to bring me on the team without paying. And it was really difficult because I was really motivated by the missions of both of these organizations, but also torn between, well, I do have some coaching clients that take some of my time. I am working on this passion project that takes some of my time. I am trying to get my driver's license that takes some of my time. And I still need to find a paying opportunity. I don't know that I really have the time and resources to be doing two jobs for free. And they both came around the same time. And one of them was, well, essentially, I chose one of them that I wanted to proceed with on a part-time basis, and I had to let the other one know that, unfortunately, unless they can pay me, I can't give them my time. And that was a really hard decision to make, but it was also me realizing and getting kind of proof into my head, proof of concept, that I do have a choice. Okay, these two can't pay, but I can align myself with an organization that I'm actually comfortable with. So that's part of the Become Unlimited, is through that whole process, I taught myself. I got rid of an internal barrier that was there before, telling me that you have to play by the rules if you want a paying job. And I proved to myself that that's not true, and I started doing it my way. And then that had a domino effect because I realized I can do that with the coaching business too. I don't have to do the typical marketing thing that everybody's doing and create a pipeline and have cold outreach and all this crap. That's not what's comfortable for me, so I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm just going to show up. I'm going to show people my journey. I'm going to show people my methods. And if they want to reach out, great. You know how to get in touch with me, or you absolutely should, or I have failed at something. And I'm happy to discuss what it might be like to be a client of mine, but this is what it meant for me to become unlimited. Slowly chipping away at these mental blocks that say I can't and replacing them with, how can I? And I'm finding that how can I has opened up a whole new world to me. I mentioned yesterday that I was so anti-social media, but this feels good. I'm happy with this. This doesn't feel like I'm going against my values. This doesn't feel like I'm, breaking some promise to 25-year-old me that said I'd never use social media. No, I feel good about this. And if anyone is getting any value from it, I'll feel even better. I know I said there were a few other things I was going to talk about. Those will have to wait for another video because I think this has been long enough. Bye.